I'll be honest, there's a lot of dumb advice for building muscle on the internet today, but you probably already knew that. And if you want to grow more muscle in general, and you want a wider back specifically, don't follow these gimmicks. If you look at the results of people following the latest training trends, you'll likely be unimpressed. But if you look at the things bodybuilders have done since day one, you're going to notice patterns. There are a few universal things that all the most impressive physiques of all time have done. Things that have produced excellent results time and time again. And if you want those results for yourself, you should focus on the things that actually work. For a wider back, the best exercises come down to just 4 variations. Number 1 is pull-ups. Of course, I'm expecting to hear pull-ups aren't optimal, and my rebuttal is simple. I've never seen someone progress to using an additional 50 to 75 pounds on their weighted pull-ups for 10 reps who also didn't completely transform their back due to this process. Even adding 10 to 25 pounds has made dramatic improvements every time. When I first started training, I could only do 1 body weight pull-up. At my strongest, I've worked up to using an additional 90 pounds for 10 reps. And every step along the way, as I've gotten stronger on pull-ups, my back has gotten wider, thicker, and denser overall. That's all the evidence and scientific literature I need. Exercise number 2 is a pull down with an underhand grip or a neutral grip, where the focus is keeping the elbows tucked and driving straight down. Most people think about different pull down grips in terms of hand placement, overhand, underhand, neutral grip, etc. But it's not about hand placement. Lat training is all about elbow path. The path your elbows travel will impact which part of the back is doing the majority of the work during the pull. And altering your grip to pull the elbows straight down will target the lats over the upper back. Neutral grip on a single arm or underhand grip are all great options here as well. And the same rule of thumb applies to exercise number 3, a single arm row with the elbows tucked in. A horizontal row where we focus with the elbows in opposed to the elbows flared out will allow us to further train the lats, this time pulling from a horizontal row. Most rowing movements are generally done to target the upper back and the thickness of the back. But if you need more lat specific training, you should also focus on targeting the lats through rows. When I'm doing this, I personally do things like dumbbell and barbell rows, but really focus on tucking those elbows in and pulling those elbows down. This is a bit of an advanced technique, but learning to do this with something like dumbbell row will teach you great mind-muscle connection for using the lats on rowing by using one arm to really pull and squeeze the lats with the dumbbell. Exercise number 4 will always be to include a pullover variation. Cable, dumbbell, or machine. Nothing is going to fully stretch and target the lats like a pullover. This comes back to a lot of my training philosophy as a whole when picking exercises. You need movements that are your bread and butter progressive overload exercises to drive muscle growth. For me, that's adding 50 plus pounds to all of my pull-ups and rows. That'll take care of 90% of the muscle growth for that body part. But if your goal is to maximize your results, you want to take advantage of every variable for muscle growth, and heavy stretching, pump training, and higher volumes are perfect for pullover variations. And if you want to maximize your progress, I would highly recommend having at least 1 pullover variation in your training to complete your back work. The goal here is not to add 50 pounds to your lift, although as you get stronger, you most likely will over time. But the goal here is to stretch, squeeze, and pump as much blood into the muscle as possible every set and every rep. If your lats are not completely pumped, full, and screaming by the end of a few sets of pullovers, you likely did them wrong. Apply these tips to your training now if your goal is massive lats. And if you want the exact programs that I personally recommend to build muscle using proven old school bodybuilding methods, make sure to check out my old school mass gain programs down below. And as always, if you want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.